Welcome to me on my dog channel. I'm Spigina and today I'm talking about tips and tricks for pet sitting dogs. And those tips and tricks will help you prepare both for the occasion when you have to pet sit other dogs at your house or if you have to leave your dogs with friends or family. On this channel I'm all about active life with dogs and providing the best possible life for your dogs. But this week I'm having a slightly different routine because I'm pet sitting those two gorgeous Salukis. So this is Rusa and this is Kai, and they belong to a good friend of mine. She's basically like my Saluki godmother. She got me into Salukis. And usually she's pet sitting my dogs, but this week I'm returning the favor and I'm looking after her dogs. And how do I tell them apart? Well, for the most part I don't. As much as I wish we could, we can't always take our dogs with us. So when we go traveling or when we have something to do, sometimes a situation comes up when you need to leave your dogs somewhere. And while I don't have anything against pet hotels or stuff like that, I think they're way more stressful for dogs than just leaving your dog with friends or family or in a place they know. So for me, pet hotel would be the absolute last option. If you have your own dogs and you are going to pet sit other dogs, first you need to introduce them, your dogs, to the other dogs. The first rule is you never do it at your house. You always choose a neutral territory, either fenced in or some forest, or depends on your dog. But in most cases it's simply not safe to introduce your dogs at their house to the other dogs because it's their territory. You don't want to bring in there some strange dogs simply out of blue. So, in order for the pet sitting go successfully, first thing you need to introduce your dogs to the other dogs. You also don't want to bring your dogs into a completely strange situation and just leave them there for a week. Owner must go with the dogs and spend some time in the new environment and have some positive interactions, play with him, give some treats. So there are plenty of positive reinforcements in the new space, and the dogs already have like positive thoughts about the new place. And on the first visit I never leave the dogs. We just go there, we visit, and then I go away together with my dogs. So on the first visit I never ever leave my dogs there. So this next tip obviously won't work for everyone and for every situation. For dogs it's always a very stressful experience to be without their owner. If the owner leaves them, it makes it even more stressful. So what I try to do, if I'm pet sitting dogs, I don't ask the owner to bring them there. I go to their house, I pick the dogs up and I bring them to my house. And that very much reduces the drama because the dogs don't think that their owner is leaving them alone. Instead, they're just going to the party with these amazing humans and they already know me, so everything is great. Of course, when you're pet sitting dogs, you also have to know their needs. You have to know how much do they need to eat, how many times do they eat, what do they eat, where do they sleep usually at house. Now with those two it's very easy because they're eating raw, the same as my dogs, and so I simply have to take out of the freezer a new meal and give it to them, and that's it. But maybe there are also some special things that the dogs do or they need. For example, Salukis wear snoods while they're eating, so that's a thing. It's also necessary to bring something that they know from their house, a favorite toy, a blanket, a place to sleep, like a bed or something, so the dogs have their usual things that they're accustomed to. I think we all know the saying that a tired dog is a good dog, and so I always try to entertain the dogs I'm pet sitting. We either train some small commands or maybe we like train some tricks or go for hiking on leash or just play with toys, or I'm allowing the dogs that are staying to play with my dogs all the time. Take some of the stress, some of the energy off for them not to be bored, not to get destructive. You always must think, like, how will the dogs be entertained? And of course, with Silkies it's quite easy because they're basically couch potatoes. We haven't done that much these days, but yeah, we have tried some obedience commands and they have been playing a lot. When pet sitting dogs, you also must always remember that dogs behave differently when they're without their owners. And so I play it extra safe. If we go hiking, I don't let the other dogs off the leash. Even in the areas that if they were with owners, the owners would be able to let them off leash. Because the dogs are already in stress, they don't know what to do. They are without their owner. And even with very, very close humans that they know already, they're still stressed and they might behave in different ways, and it's simply not safe to do some of the things. So yeah, don't let them off leash. Check them more often if you have fenced in yard. It's also a very good idea for them to have a crate if the dogs are crate trained. Crate is always a good idea. It's for safety, it's a safer place to eat, safer place to sleep, and so bring the crate along. Just do everything you can to avoid any shady situations. Also, Mia is so used to those two that she's very, very relaxed with them. Usually she tends to be a bit jealous, but like with those two, it's not a problem. And it's mainly because we did our homework. My dogs have known those two since both of my dogs were puppies, and they have had positive experiences with them. They have lived together at my friend's house, and it's not the first time Silkies are visiting. Because we have done all the things that I talked before, we are having very, very positive experience this week. And fun fact, how cool am I? Well, right now in my house there is 1/3 of the Latvia's Saluki population, because Latvia doesn't have that many Salukis. If you like those tips and tricks, if you find them useful, don't forget to subscribe. I have many more ideas like this, and I'll be talking about hiking with my dogs and camping with dogs, and I'm talking a lot about agility, and I'll also talk about what it's like to run agility with Salukis. So don't forget to subscribe and don't miss all of those videos. Today I'm talking